that camera?
It's expensive and it's something we're currently
I'm pondering the idea of putting the mobile back up, but I'm worried that it might interfere with the camera.
I don't think that I think it is certainly possible to keep it from
Okay, let's put it up there.
yeah, and I mean then the camera can be in a little different place. I think generally you probably don't want a camera pointing straight down the hole because people don't look very good from the front.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Fred wants to talk to you.
Okay.
If you don't, he doesn't get you. You get him.
Will do.
The poet W.B. Yeats wrote, "It is too much for even a big heart to hold." Yes, too much. Yes, even your big heart. Yes, even if you try harder, or meditate, or take a day off, or delete all of your emails. Too much for even a big heart to hold. But we were never made to hold it all alone, so bring it here and set it down. For this sacred hour, bring it here, set it down, and pour it out. And remember the song that goes, "There is a love holding you. There is a love holding all that you love. There is a love holding you. We rest in this love." We gather to rest in that big love. So in that spirit, let us worship together today. Welcome to worship at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Greensboro. I'm the Reverend Sadie Lansdale, and I'm the minister of this congregation. Unitarian Universalists believe that each person has a trustworthy relationship with the Spirit, with the holy, with the source of all life, with what some call God, though we name it and know it differently from one another. And we believe that because we are all interconnected, no one is free until we all are free. So we strive to build beloved community here on earth, in our work for justice and in our fellowship with one another. Whoever you are, whomever you love, however you have found your way here, welcome. Some questions for you this morning. Should you have your phone on during church making noise?
No.
Should you take your mask off? What if you feel like it? Okay. Where are we singing? We're singing outside. Today, actually, we are going to try singing on the labyrinth. So if that feels a little close for you and that's something you're not yet comfortable with, we will still be masked, but there will be an option during the time in our service where we go outside to sing. If you're not yet comfortable, you can stay inside. If you're joining us online, go ahead and say hello in the chat. If you're joining us in person, you want to say hello to everybody joining us online. All right, what are these wristbands for? What are the green ones for? Hugging. The green ones are for, you can stand close to someone, you can ask them if they want a hug. What are the yellow ones for?
A little distance.
Yeah, not quite so close. That's right. Elbows. And what are the red ones for? You can greet me warmly, but please do it from over there. So take a minute, look around you, look at the wristbands near you. Check in. This is our community practice of consent and safety. This is how we gather, knowing that there are safety precautions in place and risks we take because they make our lives beautiful. Our service this morning is our water communion service. It's a little different from years past because we have to pour it outside because the kids are going to pour too. And as always, if you are in mourning, you're invited to join me when worship is over out on the labyrinth for a brief ritual where we pour the waters of remembrance and we speak the names of those whom we have lost. There is no expiration date. It doesn't matter how long ago your loss occurred. If it's still heavy on your heart, you can join us after the service.
Good morning. My name is Katie Claude, and I am a member of this congregation. I'm going to see if Becky will come up and light the chalice, because I forgot to ask her. And will you please join me in our chalice lighting words that are found in your order of service? We light this chalice, symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith, to remind us to connect in spirituality and service, to care for each other and the world, and create loving community. Is it coming out?
And sometimes we have to work together.
Yes.
That's right. Thank you, Becky.
This morning we'll also read our covenant. A covenant contains the promises we make to one another in response to the great gift of living, holding ourselves to our holy and highest aspirations. So join me. We, the members of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Greensboro, do covenant to promote a search for personal meaning, respecting the individual truth in a community process of quest, speak and act with caring, courtesy, and love, thereby maintaining emotional, physical, and spiritual safety for all. Support UUCG and denominational efforts with our resources. Combat injustice while promoting equality. Nurture our children on their spiritual journey. Hold ourselves to this covenant, especially during times of conflict and disagreement. And now our opening hymn.
Shall we gather at the river where bright angel feet have trod, with its crystal tide forever flowing by the throne of God? Yes, we'll gather at the river, the beautiful river. Gather with the saints at the river that flows by the throne of God. On the margin of the river, washing up its silver spray, we will walk and worship ever all the happy golden day. Yes, we'll gather at the river, the beautiful river. Gather with the saints at the river that flows by the throne of God. Ere we reach the shining river, lay we every burden down. Grace our spirits will deliver and provide a robe and a crown. Yes, we'll gather at the river, the beautiful river. Gather with the saints at the river that flows by the throne of God. Soon we'll reach the shining river, soon our pilgrimage will cease, soon our happy hearts will quiver with the melody of peace. Yes, we'll gather at the river, the beautiful river. Gather with the saints at the river that flows by the throne of God. Thank you, Lauren. It is so beautiful to have you singing with us today. This is an old folk tale called The Cracked Pot, and if you Google it, it will tell you it's from at least India, China, and a couple other places. So I present it to you in full knowledge that I actually I have not done due diligence on its source, and I don't know if anybody has. Nonetheless, The Cracked Pot. An elderly Chinese woman, or person from India or a person from elsewhere, had two large pots. Each hung on the end of a pole, which she carried across her neck. One of the pots had a crack in it, while the other pot was perfect and always delivered a full portion of water. At the end of the long walks from the stream to the house, the cracked pot arrived only half full. For a full 2 years, this went on daily, with the woman bringing home only 1.5 pots of water. Of course, the perfect pot was proud of its accomplishments, but the poor cracked pot was ashamed of its own imperfection and miserable that it could only do half of what it had been made to do. After 2 years of bitter failure, it spoke to the woman one day by the stream. "I am ashamed of myself because this crack in my side causes water to leak out all the way back to your house. Next time," said the old woman, "look around you on your way back up to the house and tell me what you see." So the next day, down to the water they went again, and the pot looked around on their way back up. "Well," asked the woman, "what did you see?" "I guess all those beautiful flowers kind of cheered me up," said the pot. "But I'm still not doing what I was made to do, what I should be doing." And the woman smiled. And she said, "Did you notice that the flowers only grow on your side of the path and not on the other pot's side?" "That's because I have always known about your cracks. So I planted flower seeds on your side of the path, and every day while we walk back, you water them. For 2 years, I have been able to pick these beautiful flowers to decorate the table. And without you being just how you are, there would not be this beauty to grace this house. If you are feeling a little like a cracked pot today, my friends, look around you for the flowers that grow in your footsteps."
Every time I feel this way, this old familiar sinking, I will lay my troubles down by the water, where the river will never run dry. Hallelujah. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. Hallelujah. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. By and by, I will lay my troubles down by the water, where the river will never run dry. It's been said, and I do believe, as you ask, so shall you receive. So take from me these troubles, bring me sweet release, where the river will never run dry. Hallelujah. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. Hallelujah. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. Hallelujah. I'm gonna let myself be lifted. By and by, I will lay my troubles down by the water, where the river will never run dry. There is a river in this heart of hearts, with the knowingness of my highest good. I am willing, I will do my part, where the river will never run dry. Hallelujah.
I'm gonna let myself be lifted.
Hallelujah.
I'm gonna let myself be lifted.
Hallelujah.
I'm gonna let myself be lifted.
By and
by I will lay my troubles down by the water,
where the river will never run dry. Where the river will never run dry. This river will never run dry.
I think we just did church, y'all. One of the ways that we live out our mission to create loving community is to contribute financially to the ministries of this congregation and to do the good work of our community partners. We're sharing this plate with the Carolina Abortion Fund. We know that without money, abortion rights are not enough. We know that it is mostly poor people and people of color who will suffer. And so we celebrate the blessing that is abortion care. We remember that a pregnant person is a life that matters too, not just the host of a future life. We recall that before the rallying cry was, "My body, my choice," it was free abortion on demand without apology. To honor those brave people who paved the way for safety and dignity in reproductive care, we give generously. If you'd like to make a contribution via PayPal to the church for our offering to be split with Carolina Abortion Fund, you can do so on our website. You can also mail a check. Ushers will come forward to collect the offering with long baskets. Our offering will now be safely and gratefully received.
From you I receive, to you I give.
Together we share, and from this we live.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together
I receive, and to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
I will not ask for a show of hands, but I do have a catalog of emails and texts from you. We have a whole bunch of cracked pots around here. Lots of us feeling overwhelmed, feeling like we can't do all that we used to, or we can't do all that we meant to, or we just don't feel like it. Our Jewish siblings in faith and Jewish Unitarian Universalists have just celebrated Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. Yom Kippur is a holiday marked by fasting, the confessing of wrongdoing, making amends through sincere apology and changed behavior, and then and only then seeking forgiveness. But Yom Kippur is not only about the ways people have fallen short, it is also about the powerful compassion and the ultimate mercy of God. My colleague, the Rabbi Lauren Henderson, has written a reflection on the Shlosh Esrei Midot, the 13 attributes of divine compassion. Because her brother called her up and asked her, "What's with all the beating ourselves up? Where's all the forgiveness and compassion in Yom Kippur?" And so responsible rabbi that she is, she got to reading. Is this sound good enough? I'm hearing some of this. No? Okay. Logan, can you turn this up a little? Is that better? Okay, great. So Lauren got to reading. She turned to the Talmud and other medieval Jewish commentaries through which Jewish theology is formed, passed down, and wrestled with, as well as process theology, which holds that we co-create with the divine, so we are free to choose, even as we are led back and back again into right relationship, into fullness. Even as we are offered the best and most holy choice, the freedom remains ours. And so, inspired by these sources, she wrote the following meditation on these 13 attributes of divine compassion. You might accept this gift from our Jewish siblings in faith and listen, especially for the one that you need at this time. Adonai, I am the one with you in the moment before, when you're struggling to choose the right way. I'm holding out possibility before you, open-handed, letting you choose. Adonai, I am the one with you in the moment after, once the choice has been made, good or bad, extending the next choice, the next best option. I am the one still here with you in the moment after, in the doctor's waiting room, in the driver's seat, staring down the silent phone in your hand. El, God, I am with each person in this way, without exception, feeling with you, crying with you, accompanying you. Rahum, merciful, I am with you at your best. I am with the surgeon in her operating room. I am with the PhD at his podium. I am with the judge in their chambers. I am with the Olympian and her jingling medals. V'chanun, and compassionate. I am with the one in the jail cell. I am with the woman holding the cardboard sign and her dog on the street corner. I am with the disgraced, the despised, the cast away. Arech apayim, slow to anger. I am patient with the one who is ruthless, the one whom everyone else has written off as beyond hope. For Rav Chesed, abounding in love. I am the grandmother who folds you into her arms when you've skinned your knee, tears running down your face. I am the lawyer walking onto death row to meet his client for the first time. I am the teacher who believed in you when no one else saw what you were capable of. Ve'emet, and truth. I am the truth teller. The reality check. The friend who tells it like it is, and you know in your heart she's right. The sponsor who said, don't trust the decisions and rationalizations that led you here. Trust your higher power. Notzer chesed la'alafim, assuring love for thousands of generations. I was with your parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents in their hardest moments. I will be with your children, your grandchildren, and your great-grandchildren in theirs. Nosei avon, bearing iniquity. I will hold you when you know exactly the choice you're making, and you go ahead and do it anyway. Vafisha, and transgression. I will hold you when you say, screw it, when you lash out in anger without remorse. V'chata, and sin. And I hold you when you make a mistake, when you would give anything to go back in time and change what happened. V'nakeh, and granting pardon. I am the one who washes it all away, the blood and dirt and schmutz and pain and longing. I am the one with the soft washcloth, wiping away your snot and your tears, unlocking the cell, unbolting the latch, walking with you into the next choice, and the next, and the next. Gamar chatima tova, may all of your good intentions for this year to come be sealed. Rabbi Lauren Henderson. So inspired by Rabbi Henderson's writing and the great cosmic timing of the Jewish High Holy Days this year, I see our water communion ritual in a new light. We don't bring the best of ourselves. We bring all of ourselves. Sometimes we pour purposefully. Sometimes we're just leaking. We fail and flail and struggle and try to turn again and again to the source of life, to that big love that my colleague, the Reverend Molly Hausch-Gordon, calls the capital L love that fixes nothing, but saves everything. The promise at the beating heart of life, best described in poetry and song and sunsets and by the water and sometimes in the quiet of a desperate night, that there is always possibility, mercy in every morning, a place to return, to set it down, to surrender, a place to be washed and tended, a place to begin again. This is the water of remembrance and history. This is the water from years past that sits the rest of the year on a shelf in my office, holding the gifts and the blessings and the struggles of all those who have gone before. We pour it together as a gathered community before we pour our own water as individuals. Since last we gathered in person for our water communion ritual 2 years ago, we have weathered change, mourned deaths, and welcomed babies, both in our church community and rippling out into the rest of our lives. So we pour this water for those who have died in that time. And you may offer their names silently, in the chat, or aloud. Lansdowne. Trisha Burlars, Lansdowne, Riggs. Steve Somerset. We pour this water for those who have been born in that time. And you may offer their names silently, in the chat, or aloud. Luca, Lucas, Alex. We pour this water for all those people on your hearts, living or dead, near or far, that this community might hold them in prayer and in love. You may offer their names silently in the chat or aloud. Paige Lansdowne. We pause at this time to reflect on our sorrows, our failures, and our regrets. We have wronged our planet and our neighbors and our own souls. We have acted selfishly, or else we have failed to act through fear or indifference. We think on these things in silence, and we pour this water, the symbol of our tears. We now bring to mind those times we have lived in accordance with our values, when we have been generous, when we have been tender, when we have been brave. We have been strengthened by our faith and our community, by the love that fixes nothing but saves everything, and sometimes we have done the right thing, no matter how small. We think on these things in silence, and we pour this water, the symbol of our conviction. Even during times of struggle and separation, yet and still there is great joy. And sometimes when sorrow has the foreground, joy can feel like a challenge to share. But joy shared is joy magnified. Whether we have found peace and space, whether our lives have slowed down a little, whether we have changed our lives or fallen in love, we think on these things in silence. And we pour this water, the symbol of our joy. We turn all of these people and all of these prayers, spoken and silent, up to the love that holds us all, and we pour out the last of our water together. The ushers will direct you to come row-ish by row outside to pour out our water together into the common bowl. If you have brought water from home, now is the time to bring it, and if you haven't, we've got pitchers. We mingle all that we bring and all that we are, the pain and the blessing and the possibility of our common life, held by love.
The river is a healer, the river is a sage. The river knows no end and the river feels no age. The river is a leader every single day. It's living in the moment and always finds a way. Water heal my body, water heal my soul. When I go down, down to the water, by the water I feel whole. The river calls me over, it's calling out my name. In the day and in the night I hear that river all the same. It's calling me over, calling out my pain. Oh, a river gathers tears just like a river gathers rain. Water heal my body, water heal my soul. When I go down, down to the water, by water I feel whole. Water heal my body, water heal my soul. When I go down, down to the water, by the water I feel whole. The river is a traveler, always on the go. Oh, river never worries if it's fast or if it's slow. River, take me to where I need to go. Oh, and I will just relax and let the river flow. Water heal my body, water heal my soul. Yeah, when I go down, down to the water, by the water I feel whole. Water heal my body, water heal my soul. Yeah, when I go down, down to the water, by the water I feel whole. Water heal my body, water heal my soul. Yeah, when I go down, down to the water, by the water I feel whole. Water heal my body, water heal my soul. Yeah, when I go down, down to the water, by the water I feel whole. Yeah, when I go down, down to the water, by the water I feel whole. Thank you.
we pour it all out. We bring all of what we are, all we imperfect vessels, all we who water flowers with our mistakes and our tears. We who water flowers with the wide gap between our plans and what the mystery of living has in store for us. Next week, we'll have this water in small vials for you to take home, distributed also by pickup in the portico outside for those who want to come by but don't yet feel comfortable coming in. The power of a community that turns toward something bigger, toward possibility, toward a love bigger than our understanding. You can tuck it in your pocket and return to that blessing throughout the year whenever you need it. Lauren, we'd love to hear that song again. Right?
Yeah.
The river is a healer, the river is a sage. The river knows no end and the river feels no age. The river is a leader every single day. It's living in the moment and always finds a way. Water, heal my body. Water, heal my soul. When I go down, down to the water, by the water, I feel whole. The river calls me over. It's calling out my name. In the day and in the night, I hear the river all the same. It's calling me over, calling out my pain. Oh, a river gathers tears just like a river gathers rain. Water, heal my body. Water, heal my soul. When I go down, down to the water, by the water, I feel whole. Water, heal my body. Water, heal my soul. When I go down, down to the water, by the water, I feel whole. River is a traveler, always on the go. A river never worries if it's fast or if it's slow. River, take me to where I need to go. Relax and let the river flow. Water, heal my body. Water, heal my soul. When I go down, down to the water, by the water, I feel whole. Water, heal my body. Water, heal my soul. Yeah, when I go down, down to the water, by the water, I feel whole. Yeah, when I go down, down to the water, by the water, I feel whole.
Oh, no, wait, it's you.
Oh, man. Let's extinguish our chalice together. Will you join me in the extinguishing words? We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts, until we are together again.
Amen. So I've been listening to that song like all summer long, and it occurred to me that I should take it actually really quite literally. So if you try to make an appointment with me on my online calendar, you'll see that there's an option to meet me down by the Lake Brant Marina. And I gotta tell you, it feels really different. So especially if you are having a really rough time, and you're in the place where you're like, I just don't even know if talking about it does the job. Sitting by the water is a whole different thing, and I'll be your company. So it's not accessible, so that's like a consideration, but it's been good, and I'm continuing. Okay, boy. We have a lot of exciting stuff happening. This Wednesday, I'm continuing a spiritual practice class. It's on Zoom from 7 to 8. We're doing a sacred reading practice. We're reading poetry together and reflecting on, what it brings up for us. It's very simple. That's all. Information's all in the e-news. This Friday at 6 p.m., we have a equinox celebration. We've got stations outside, snacks, crafts, and an opportunity to build a big, beautiful altar and reflect on the turning of the seasons and what the autumn energy has to say to us in our lives. So that's sort of geared toward families with kids, but it's for everybody. We are still accepting registration for chalice circles. So if you want to be in a small group that meets monthly and you want to connect and reflect and grow deep relationships and do some really good listening, we've got some fabulous chalice circle leaders, and they would love to have you in their groups. Information about how to sign up for that is where?
In the news.
It is in the newsletter. What do you do if you don't get the newsletter? What do you do with Julie? You contact Julie, and her email is on the back of your order of service. Yes, Betsy?
There's also information on one of the desks out front.
Oh, do we still have the papers? Yeah. Great. There's also paper forms that you can sign right out front, and just snag somebody who looks like they know what they're doing, and they'll help you sign up if you wanna, if you'd like to join a chalice circle. Now that schools have reopened, there might be times that families are going to need to quarantine with a COVID exposure. We're sort of looking at the fall and predicting this. And so children and youth ministry and the pastoral care team are collaborating to work with the congregation to offer support to our families. So if you want to donate toys or treats or games or crafts or anything like that that you think would entertain children whose parents have to keep them home and also do their jobs somehow, Cindy Dillard will be collecting those items to be included in care packages for kids. And if you want to volunteer to provide a meal or offer to deliver necessary items, there's an email address, uucgcovidhelp@gmail.com, but you don't have to remember that because you can look in the newsletter. If your family needs help or support, if you have an exposure, you can contact this very same group at that email I just said, which you can find in the newsletter. That's right. So keep an eye out in the newsletter for this information and for a Google form, which will help you figure out how you want to contribute. Is there anything else that has? Anybody else have anything important I'm forgetting? The auction, it's happening. Well, it's still happening, so keep an eye on the newsletter because they're probably going to want more help and there are more exciting ways to contribute. Oh yes, haha, I think you can. So you know how you've been signing in outside? We don't really know what to do with that actually. We said sort of maybe for contact tracing, but the health department does contact tracing, and because we're all masked and spread out, this doesn't actually qualify as close enough contact anyway. So we're going to phase out our sign-in. We did it because we just thought, I don't know, we're being careful. But anyway, we're not going to do that anymore because we don't use it. So if you have been in, if you've been in a small group with someone who has an exposure, or if you've been sitting near someone and you want to offer people information, you can do that. But, we took all those names and we were like, we actually don't know how to use this or what to do with it. So we're phasing that out. So Nora's cracking up. Nora, I'm trying to give the benediction and you're laughing. Go in peace, go in love, go poured out, and go looking for the flowers that grow in your path, however you track it. Let's say goodbye to everybody joining us online. Bye.